Good morning. It's great to see everyone this morning. Our topic today is Spiritual Mind Treatment is Not Well-Wishing, a chapter found in Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. On page 318, when you give a spiritual mind treatment, you are not wishing, hoping, or asking that someone will be healed. And on page 319, a spiritual mind treatment is a series of statements logically presented to the principle of mind based on the assumption of perfect God, perfect human, perfect being. A combination of feeling the divine presence and making statements into the law of mind constitutes both inspirational and scientific spiritual mind treatment. This word is the law of elimination to everything that disputes or denies that which is perfect. And on page 320, we do not question the physical diagnosis of the doctor, nor body or mind. We do affirm the spirit as transcendent, having the ability to create new thoughts, while thoughts create new situations. The practitioner should always know that his statements transcend both cause and effect of the negative condition, rising to a position in mind which starts new and clean and fresh. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." So let us now use the power of our word to create new thoughts and new situations. Say with me this affirmation. As I pray, I look beyond the appearance and expand my consciousness to feel, to realize the allness and perfection of spirit, which is closer to me than my own breath. This feeling of oneness or allness is the creative power that is now turning my words into a bright new experience. Yes. Thank you, Linda. What to take on?
Yeah. So this month is focused on spiritual mind treatment as it was last month. And the reason why we are spending so much time on this beautiful spiritual technology is because it transforms consciousness. So it's designed so beautifully to take us from the allness or the oneness of that presence that we call God, Spirit, the infinite almighty, universal mind, intelligence. And that presence, whatever we call it, is the very source of this life. And we know that that life is perfect because look at this amazing, vast universe produced out of this universal presence. And so, if all of that presence is perfect, then the essence of who we are is perfection. It's perfection right here and right now. And the only thing we need to do is get all of those thoughts and beliefs out of the way that tell us otherwise. And so, spiritual mind treatment then is a way to do that in a really specific way that raises our vibration. And since we're talking about feeling, the feeling nature of spiritual mind treatment this month, it's just a reminder that the feelings that we are aligning ourselves with through the power of our word, the spiritual mind treatment, this form of prayer, is our feelings of awe and wonder, of love and peace, of joy, exuberance, all of those things that we also enjoy. We are feeling beings. And so when we are feeling those states of awe, wonder, and all of that I just listed, we are feeling the presence of who we are in truth. We're feeling the presence of the divine, the all that is. So again, this spiritual technology is not just a bunch of rote things that we say, but it really is meant to lift us into those higher frequencies so that we can then, from that high perspective and that high feeling nature, speak our word and claim the good that is there for us. I love what Emma Curtis Hopkins says. She says, there is good for us, and we ought to have it. There is good for us, and we ought to have it. Why? Because that's who we are. We are these amazing beings of infinite good, infinite grace, infinite love, and we have so much to give to the planet. And in order to give that and to give to the fullest, it's important that we recognize the nature of life and who we are. So the topic today is spiritual mind treatment is not well-wishing. And so it actually moves us out of well-wishing, which is kind of a set point for a lot of humanity, into knowing. So from well-wishing into knowing. And if you think about wishing, it's been socialized into us. When you think about it, you think about some of the Disney movies, When You Wish Upon a Star. And so even though it's it's really a wonderful concept, and yes, we want to use our imaginations and imagine a better world and a better life. There's one little thing that goes on there. There's kind of a sense that there's something outside of us that's going to hand us that good with us simply just wishing. When in truth, there's some inner work that comes along with being able to fully receive the good that is already there for us. And so again, there's a sense of something out there instead of realizing the something that we are seeking is in here, in the very midst of us. God in the midst of us is mighty. So we're wanting to move beyond that well-wishing, that begging, that pleading, kind of the old method of prayer that maybe many of us have been exposed to, and moving into a place of spiritual authority, of understanding that the vibration of our word has power, it has creative power. And so we then mindfully use it to produce a better life experience, to receive the good that's already there for us. So at this very moment, well, let's talk about what it is that we're knowing. Spiritual mind treatment moves us into this place of knowing. And again, it's knowing what I was talking about before, that all there is this one infinite universal presence that is perfect, whole, complete, infinite love, all peace, all joy, infinite wisdom, perfect balance, divine order, universal intelligence, all in abundant supply, infinite supply. So that's what we are knowing. We're also knowing that we are that life, individualized, that the fullness of all that I just described as the presence of the divine is who we are in truth. And then there is a law of mind that we can consciously use to cleanse our minds of any false concepts, actually. And I'm talking about our subconscious mind, and therefore rewire our whole neural network within to align with these vibrations of the Most High: peace, love, joy, awe, wonder, and all of that good. So let's apply it then to this thing called world peace, because that's what's really up for us today. So many people across the planet, I guarantee you, are wishing for world peace. They're wishing and hoping that someone or something would intervene and do something about what's going on in the planet. Again, do you see what that is? It's like waiting for someone out there to make a difference. So how well does that work? Right, doesn't work so well. So what we are doing here then is we're kind of frontier, we're kind of pioneer people, frontier people, and that we are bringing forth a different concept of taking 100% responsibility for world peace. How? By stepping into that energy of peace ourselves, by acknowledging and recognizing it and cultivating it and rewiring our whole neurobiology so that our set point is peace. And so this technology that we've taught, spiritual mind treatment, guides us along that path. You know, there's a beautiful prayer written by Lao Tzu. How many of you have heard of Lao Tzu, the great founder of Taoism? We're talking thousands of years ago, and this is what he wrote. He said so beautifully, and speaks to this. He said, "If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace in the neighborhoods or between neighbors. That's between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in our hearts." Do you see how he so skillfully took us right to the core essence of where peace begins? And it begins where? With us, with each and every one of us. We are each 100% responsible for cultivating world peace. And you know what I love about that is that that kind of takes the burden off of us to go, you know, if it's not ours to do, to go out there and try to fix things in the world. What it does is it brings us right back to what creates, to the creative power within us. That atmosphere of peace, those intentions of peace within, literally are so high vibrational. Dr. David Hawkins, in his book Power versus Force, talked about how fewer number of people are needed for the tipping point of the entire planet to become that peace vibration or that love vibration or that joy vibration. So those of us who know that and use the spiritual technology to raise our vibrations, we are doing amazing work. Amazing work. Hear me. Amazing, amazing work when we cultivate that energy of peace within us. We have so many ways of doing it. Uh, and it's beautiful that we know we have spiritual mind treatment, we have meditation, we have journaling, we have visioning, we have gongs, and we have chanting, and we have yoga, and we have so many different technologies available to us. And things that you love, yeah, all the things we love to do, singing, yeah, all the things that we love to do raise us into those vibrations, and that's the joy of it. That's the joy of it. So maybe the word is not work, but play. To play in the field of peace. So peace within our hearts. When we talk about peace within our hearts, it's really important to realize that we're talking about our subconscious mind. Have you ever thought about that? The peace in our hearts. We're talking about the way that we're wired, and we can wire ourselves intentionally. You know, all of those little circuitries, the neurocircuitries. And here's the beauty of it. Science supports this. You know, we talk about what we focus on is what we create. Well, the truth is what we focus on, we create synapses for in our neural network, in the neurobiology. And if we turn away from, we've been taught this, to turn away from the negative thinking, not focus on that. There are ways to unload it through journaling. Charlie taught us that. But then again, that's we're unloading it, and then we're turning, what we're doing is we're allowing those old circuits to extinguish. And they do. There are actual mechanisms in the body that when you're not using something, you lose it. You lose those pathways, which is a good thing because there's some pathways that we maybe don't want. We don't want to go back to that old story that makes us miserable in our own minds. We don't want to go back to doubt and fear. We want to move in the direction of possibility, potentiality, all of those things that are part of our divine nature and that are calling us into a greater sense of being and into doing that which is ours to do on the planet. And each one of us has a perfect inner guidance system to take us in that direction. So I'd like you to just simply say this beautiful affirmation with me, if you would. I move from a wishing mindset to one of knowing. My words of prayer are words of power. I know, and I know that I know. The universe brings to me that which I claim with conviction and faith. And so it is. Beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about this thing called group spiritual mind treatment or group knowing. That's a common accord with our intentions. Ernest Holmes actually has a chapter in Living the Science of Mind called Group Treatment. And he writes, when a group of people come together for one accord, a great power is generated. First, the individual needs and desires of the group must be temporarily put aside. The best results are gained from a group treatment for the purpose of reaching a higher state of consciousness. There we go. It goes back to consciousness. For the common good. So are you willing today to join together as one with a common intention of co-creating peace on earth? Yes. Oh, let me just say that again. I'd love to hear more enthusiasm. So are we willing to come together as one, co-creating heaven on earth? Yes. Oh, much better. Okay, so the thing that I would like to do is to prepare us in a group spiritual mind treatment, just to kind of lead you through it. Some of you who are newer to this, I want to show you how this works. So the first thing we want to do in a spiritual mind treatment is decide what our purpose is of saying it. Otherwise, we're just kind of going all over the map. So we want to focus on a purpose. So if our purpose today is world peace through inner peace, then we claim that as our purpose. And then what we want to do is we want to fashion our treatment based on that quality. So we begin with the all that is. So God is perfect peace. The great source of all there is perfect peace. Okay, go ahead. God is perfect peace. And then I'm going to have us do we today. Instead of I, we usually do I when we're talking about ourselves individually, but let's make this about we, us, collectively. So we are, therefore, one with perfect peace. We are, therefore, one with perfect peace. Right. And then we move into what's called realization. And I'm really keeping this simplified for those of us who are learning. And I know we can get more when we start letting the inspiration flow through us, all different kinds of words come out that may not be exactly like this. but just bear with me. So how about I claim peace? I accept peace. I know that my natural vibration is peace. I know that the peace that I am makes a magnificent difference in the vibration of the planet. I am the purveyor of world peace. Do you see how that works? And so you can just be creative and allow that flow to come through you to describe what this means to be that presence of peace and to see it blossoming all over the world. And then we go through Thanksgiving. So I give thanks for this deep inner peace. I give thanks for this deep inner peace. And for the demonstration of peace on earth. And for the demonstration of peace on earth. And then the next thing we want to do is to turn it over to the universal law rather than clinging on to it. We want to trust that there are mechanisms in the invisible that operate on our word and bring them into being. So what we want to do is say, I now release my word, to the automatic, action of the law, of universal mind. And then, it's always good to say something like, all is well. All is well. And so it is. And so it is. All right? Beautiful. Okay, so we're set up now. We've done a nice kind of beginning for our peace pole ceremony. We all are primed up and ready with our intentions honed and focused, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to call up Lori right now, and would somebody go and get our children if you haven't already? Lovely, because we're going to have them participate as well. So Lori gifted our community with this beautiful peace pole, so let's give her a round of applause and a thank you for that. And Lori, let's give you a mic because I think we want to. Yeah, could we just give her? Maybe, yeah, thank you. We want to make sure that this is recorded.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Second.
Uh-huh.
The prayer, "May peace prevail on earth," was conceived in a moment of great inspiration by Masahiro Goi of Japan. Since its birth over half a century ago, "May peace prevail on earth" has reached deep into the hearts and lives of global citizens everywhere through the proliferation of peace poles. Peace lovers of all faiths have been involved in the peace pole dedications, including the 14th Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa, President Jimmy Carter, Deepak Chopra, and John Denver, as well as mayors, clubs, and Girl Scouts. There are peace poles on the Albany Bridge between Israel and Jordan, at the Peace Park, where 84 peace poles commemorate the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, at the War Museum in Vietnam, at the Robben Island in South Africa, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned, at the pyramids at Al Giza in Egypt, at the site of the baptism of Jesus at Bethany beyond the Jordan, and at schools, churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples across the United States and around the world. What does the peace pole represent? Uplift. The May Peace Prevail on Earth movement is a grassroots global movement to inspire and reawaken the inherent consciousness of love, peace, and harmony which exists in every one of us. We know that world peace takes place through inner peace. Inspire. The power of the prayer, "May peace prevail on earth," brings people of various cultures, faith traditions, and political ideals together as one united global heart and mind to share, create, and manifest true peace on earth while transcending our differences and celebrating our common humanity. Awaken. In the original Japanese version of "May Peace Prevail on Earth," the character of Earth includes life in realms of creation. When we speak the words, "May peace prevail on earth," imagine that frequency An energy field of love, peace, and harmony is reaching the kingdom of plants, animals, minerals, the universe, and the invisible realms. Each peace pole bears the message, "May peace prevail on earth," in different languages. Ours contains the following languages: English, Algonquin, which is in this local area the Lenni Lenape Indians, Hebrew, Hindi, Spanish, American Sign Language, Chinese Mandarin, and Amharic, if I'm saying that right, an African language. There is also a Braille plate, so we actually have 9 languages on our peace pole.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Lori. So we're going to do a ribbon ceremony as a way to connect us all together in this this high purpose of being the presence of peace and co-creating peace on earth. So this was, during our affiliation ceremony, this was actually the ring that we used to connect with all of the other centers for spiritual living all over the area and other new thought centers as well. So how fitting that we use this today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a piece of ribbon onto it, and eventually we'll put it on top of the peace pole. But I would like to represent different teams and so on in our spiritual community. So would somebody step forward? Would the children step forward? And anybody who's part of our children's program, please come. And you get to hold the ribbon. And then the teachers as well. I'd like you to come and just put your shoulder on, and you're going to take it in your right hand and put it on your heart, Nala. Beautiful. And then and so in this very moment, we give thanks for this opportunity to dedicate this beautiful peace pole, realizing that it is one of many. This common intention is being uplifted even more by the beautiful vibratory frequency of the spiritual community and all of our prayers and all that we stand for. So in this very moment, let's unveil the peace pole. Tom, would you step forward and do that, please? And we're going to put this right on the crown of it. So everybody step back. Everybody step back to the edges of the room.
Help me, Rhonda.
Okay. Ah, lovely. Let's move around a little bit in a circle. So some of you step around to the other side, so we're more circular. Okay. And Deb, I'm going to ask, well, let's do a prayer, and then I'm going to ask Deb to lead us in our final song. So let's turn within, and I'm going to invite everybody to pray at once. I think the world could use the vibrational frequencies of every single one of us. So in your own words, claim peace. If you just simply say, "May peace prevail on earth," over and over again, you're welcome to do that if you're new to our tradition. So let's all, again, just shower the world with our prayers right here and right now. So I know that right here and right now, there is only infinite peace because God is that perfect peace, peace beyond all understanding. That light that right here and right now celebrates this moment as a moment in which the frequency of peace on the planet Earth is upleveled exponentially because of our common intention. I know that the peace generated here is the very energy of the Most High, and that we each being committed to this thing called inner peace are therefore committed to world peace. And so I give thanks for the many demonstrations of this new vibration on the planet all around us in our own lives, in the lives of our communities, in the lives of the nation, in the lives of of our entire planet, people all over the planet, and that this includes the minerals, the plants, the animals, all beings everywhere, in all realms, invisible and visible. And so I give my thanks for the prevalence of peace on earth, for the prevalence of peace in all realms. And I know that this is so, that all is well. I give thanks. I release this word into the universal law of mind. And so it is. And everybody say together, and so it is. Amen. Would you leave?